Good evening, Drew.
I need help. I need
Tell
help.
Daddy where it hurts.
Balatro. Balatro is where it hurts.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
I cannot stop playing this game. It is. Well, first of all, like it or not, it is the perfect game for the Steam Deck.
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah.
And I play it just as much sitting at my desk as I do laying in bed at night or laying on the couch.
Okay. Okay.
And I know we already talked about this and you don't like it, but I'm at the point of the game now where I have seen several videos of people who have, like, once you quote unquote beat it, like once you finish 8 antes, which is a maximum of 24 hands, you can go into endless mode, where the goal is just to see how far you can fucking take your little engine that you built. And I've seen TikToks of people that, like, you know how in Excel, when you type a number that's so big, it puts the little exponent thing on it.
Yeah.
That happens. That's how they're getting all these high scores.
Okay.
I'm not anywhere close to that, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I don't have the brain for it, but there's lots of really unique little challenges, like, hey, this time we need you to win, but you're not allowed to play a pair. Or you're not allowed to play a flush, or you have to try to make your entire deck clubs.
Okay.
The weird completionist part of my brain has twisted and contorted in such a way that I don't think I can fix it anymore. Like, I think my brain has been permanently warped by this game. And I don't know.
Are you dreaming about it yet?
Yes, I am, actually. I'm not even joking.
Yep.
Well, okay. Well, you tell me if this counts as a dream.
Okay.
The key of the game are the Joker cards.
Right.
And some of them have really cursed artwork. I have seen that artwork show up in my dreams.
Okay. That counts. That counts.
But it wasn't about the game. There was, I've just seen pictures of these Jokers in my head.
Okay.
Am I going to be okay?
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe.
It's really fucking good. It's so fucking good, man. I have Helldivers 2 to play. Diablo 4 is on Game Pass now because that sucks, and I paid for it on Steam. And there's all kinds of other good games out there right now I could be playing.
There's big changes to Diablo 4 coming in a couple of days too, so big changes.
I heard about
big
that.
Changes. I might have to jump back in though. But I
like good changes because I never finished the campaign. I never finished the first area.
Yeah, no. I've beaten the campaign twice now, and I played every season throughout the story and gotten characters to like level 70 and then stopped. I still like the game, but I think the season 4 stuff is going to be better. I accidentally started playing a video game today, Drew.
Uh-oh.
And I think...
Which one?
I'm playing Dragon's Dogma 2.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Did you ever play the first one?
I did not finish it. I probably played about 20 hours of it.
Yeah, that was a unique little game. Yeah. Is the second one good?
Yeah. If you liked the first one and you didn't mind some of the jank, the second one is good. Like, it's not perfect. Like, apparently it's been developed for 12 years, and like the frame rate still drops down to like the teens sometimes. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
What?
But like the combat is real good. Like, I just did this, like, I just jumped on the back of an ogre, climbed up onto his head, and just beat the shit out of him till he fell over. And that was fucking amazing. So I think I'm hooked. Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, apparently optimization is even worse on PC.
Yeah.
I have seen several reviews where it's like, this game fucking rules, but like it's ass on like everybody's computers right now.
Yeah.
So but here was the thing. I had heard that I knew about Dragon's Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of viewed that game through the same lens that I viewed games like Dark Souls. Like, that's a game for somebody, but I'm not sure it's for me. And then it was on sale.
Yeah.
It was on sale, and I bought it, and I started to play it, and it was just absolutely eating my nuts. Like, it was absolutely just destroying me.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand what was going on until it was like, yeah, you know those things that are like pawns? You're supposed to recruit those.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
But that was never really made
yeah.
clear to me.
And this game, like, you start off like recruiting pawns, and it walks you through all of that. So, like, I have a party of 4 already going after it, and I mean, at least now, like, it's not hard. It is like, I think it can be like punishing. Like, you like right now with my character level, like, I do not want to be out at night. Like,
Yeah.
like that, not a good idea. And I'm trying just to like follow, like, not get off the rails too much, and just kind of follow the main story until I feel like, okay, I've done the tutorial. Now I can go bonkers. And I think I'm finally getting to like that part, but yeah.
Well, I heard that like the first like 30 hours of the game's the tutorial, right? Like, isn't it something ridiculous?
I think it's like the first 5 hours or so.
Oh,
until
okay.
things start opening it up. But even then, like, even right now, like, I could just pick a direction and start walking. I'm not sure what the game would do, but it would be, I may run into monsters I can't deal with yet.
Well, that was,
but yeah.
well, see that again, maybe I'm just an old now, but again, and when I said I viewed the first Dragon's Dogma sort of through the same lens that I view Dark Souls, like Dark Souls will let you walk in any direction you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like the enemies are hard. I mean, that game's hard, but like there's clearly a way you're supposed to go through that game, but it doesn't tell you that. You sort of have to like just bash your head against it until you figure it out. And I ran into a few of those instances in Dragon's Dogma 1 where it was like, okay, well, I've got these badasses. I guess I'll go into this castle. And it's just like, well, you can, but you shouldn't.
Yeah. I don't know. So far, so good.
Okay. So before we jump into topics du jour, I do want to share a couple things.
Okay.
I don't know if you're a big TikTok user.
I have started consuming TikToks. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, friend of the show, Eric Darling, has recently branched out into TikTok.
Okay. Is he doing sequel stuff on TikTok?
He's doing sequel stuff on TikTok,
Okay,
and his wife is his editor.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Good.
Because Eric is always entertaining to watch. So you should there will be a link in the show notes to Eric's TikTok. I don't know if I can actually pull it up on my computer or not to put a link there. TikTok, Darling Data. Will it do this?
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hold on. Oh, it's gonna make you log in. Well, if you're looking at this on your phone, and oh god, no. There we go. If you're looking at this on if you're looking at the show notes on your phone, you may be able to get there.
Okay.
You should definitely check that out. The other one I want to point out is Kendra Little. She is a SQL. Well, she was a SQL person. She still works with SQL Server. I will try to get her link. I can't pull it up right now for some reason. But I'll get it. I'll put it in the show notes. She does, again, she's also doing SQL Server content on TikTok. But she draws cute little adorable comics.
Okay.
Yeah. God, I need you to see it because like I think it's totally charming. TikTok's gonna go off in the background here. Okay, so how do I inbox? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do this. There we go. Okay. It's okay. I think I got this. So I'll do this. Oh, nope, that's not gonna work. Oh, that's not gonna work.
It's great content, by the way. Great content.
I know. I should have. I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared, and it isn't working. I don't understand. Anyway, it's here. I'll just type it out. See, here's the problem with TikTok. Like, you have to consume this on your phone. You have to. Like this, it just doesn't work otherwise.
Okay.
There you go. Nope. Okay, that's the one. All right, so those are the two you need to check out. Just find their usernames. Go have fun. They're both good friends of mine, and I would encourage you to go subscribe to them if you do the TikTok stuff. So, okay. let's move on. What do you got?
Okay. So I'm gonna flip these around. So you're talking about content. Uh, Apparently now, I don't know what kind of monster does this, but apparently podcasts are now supported on YouTube. You can go into your YouTube channel, you can point it at an RSS feed. It generates videos for each of the episodes with just like the album made the episode artwork as the video. I don't know. Again, I don't know what kind of monster decides that they want to use YouTube for your podcasts, but damn it, we're gonna be where the people are. So in fact, when I originally wrote this, I said the podcast will be on YouTube soon. The podcast is on YouTube now. YouTube finished chugging through the RSS feed a few hours ago, and I went ahead and made it public right before this. So by the time you listen to it, there'll be a link. If you want to listen on YouTube for some horrific reason, there you go. And
does it do? Okay, so I'm on it, and I'm listening to my absolute favorite episode, the Bavarian Legend fiasco. But if you do, okay, I'm watching the closed caption transcripts of how I stammer, and it's doing a pretty good job.
Okay.
Oh, it even grabs the show notes.
Yes,
puts
it
the
does.
show links in there.
It does. Yeah. It grabs all the show notes. It pulls everything from the RSS feed. It seems to actually work. So
well, that's one more thing you can put on the website, right?
It is. I'm gonna update the website this weekend and put a link onto it and everything and all that stuff. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to like automatically figure out all the links for each episode. I'm not sure if there's a good way to do it because YouTube URLs are evil, but if I can, then I'll get that.
Well, let's face it, there are no Amazon URLs.
No, well, true. You're right. You're absolutely not. But I mean, yeah. I don't understand what kind of like monster would go podcasts and think YouTube. But if you do, or you know somebody who does, well, there it is. Okay. And I'm sure this will only increase the amount of spam that I get.
Okay,
but
I love it.
It was easy to do. I just gave it the RSS feed and it chewed on it for a few days, and bam, podcast on YouTube. So
we did it.
You did.
I
didn't do anything. I literally just. First of all, I remember how to get into our YouTube channel.
Right. We need to do more with that. I think.
Yeah. I mean,
we're due.
Yeah. We should do another live stream or another. Yeah, something.
Yeah. Okay, that's good news.
Okay,
what else you got?
So I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Apple recently added a new feature to Apple Podcasts. Okay. They have transcribed every podcast in the world, all of them. They've done them all, Drew. Every single
even
one.
Ours.
Even ours.
Okay. Okay. I'm going there now. I'm pulling it up on my phone. Let's go to the Bavarian Legend episode.
It does a pretty good job.
Oh my god, there it is.
Sometimes there's a speaker 3, and I'm not sure what that's all about.
It might be Rocky.
But it
doesn't say who's talking.
No. It does not know that. For me, if I go into like Podcast Connect, where you set all that stuff up, I can download the transcript files, and it just has like speaker 1, speaker 2. Like it doesn't try to do that.
Hold on, time out. You're telling me I can download this? I can download this text.
Yeah, if you have access to our Apple account.
You're telling me I could build a chatbot out of us?
Yes, you could. Yes.
Okay.
That is.
If you have that text, if you have access to that and you can download it,
I will start working on that. Yes.
I will create so many embeddings and vectors. And you can chat with us like no one wants to chat with us in real life, but they could chat with us virtually.
Yeah, so I'm also trying to figure out, like, do I pull it into the the site and make it searchable or stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with them, but I'm really impressed with the quality of the transcripts. It's even like, like all your shows are there. It's the shows that actually matter all have transcripts as well. But yeah, it's a pretty neat feature.
It's actually really good because
Mhm.
like I'm actually like I have this pulled up on my phone and I have the YouTube thing up, right? And the YouTube does the closed captioning. And I do that thing where I say the same word over and over again, and that's captured on the YouTube
Mhm.
transcript. Here, it seems like it just is like, yeah,
Yes.
he was trying to say the word "we."
Yeah, it does do some smart things where it takes out like repetition and some ums and ahs and things like that.
Yes.
And apparently it even uses context from like the show notes and the site website. So this is an experiment for future Paul. I'm going to say your last name. And I want to
Oh,
see what it does with that. So I'm going to
okay.
say Drew Ferguel.
Nice job.
And
Ooh, that was
I
yeah.
want to see what happens to that. You know what? Heck, my name too, Paul Baylor, because it's spelled weird.
Uh-huh,
So
uh-huh,
I want to
uh-huh.
see what Apple Podcast does with that. I'm also curious to see how quickly like the turnaround time is from when I publish until there's a transcript. But yeah, yeah, way to go, Apple.
No, that's
Mhm.
that's very cool.
Yeah,
It just showed up one day, huh?
yeah. They released it as a feature, maybe just a few weeks ago. But yeah, they decided they're going to transcribe everything. I can't imagine how much compute that took and like what that cloud
Oh
bill
my
costs.
god. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but at some point, someone's like, "Which ones are we going to transcribe?" And someone just said, "Fuck it, all of them," and
Yeah, do them all.
and they did. So, just how many hours of audio? Yeah, but yeah, we got transcripts now. Thanks, Apple.
Yeah, that's really
Mm,
cool.
yeah,
All right, yeah, check out those cool features on a computer or smartphone near you.
absolutely.
All right,
Hmm.
moving on.
Okay, have you played this yet, Drew?
Nope.
Okay. Speaking back to our video game bullshit.
Uh-huh.
There's another game. Actually, I should have mentioned this game last week when I was talking about games I was playing, because I think I brought up like what did I talk about? Hi-Fi Rush and Doom. But really, the answer was I have spent a considerable amount of time playing Deep Rock Galactic Survivor.
All right, talk to me. Talk
Okay.
to me.
So it's okay. First of all, the game is still in early access, not even version 1.0 yet. And I usually don't get into those kind of games.
Okay.
But this game, it's a spin-off from Deep Rock Galactic, a game about mining dwarves. I've never actually played that game at all.
It's
Uh
really good.
yeah.
I
I've heard good
really enjoyed
things.
that game.
Yeah, yeah. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor is kind of like a Vampire Survivors plus Deep Rock Galactic combined. And
Okay.
as someone who likes that kind of like single stick shooter is what I'm going to call them, where you move and you automatically shoot. This particular variation of that is absolutely incredible.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
there are different classes, obviously, and but here's the thing. So you get dropped down in a mine and you get attacked by bugs.
Mhm.
But you could also, since you're a mining dwarf, you can go through the walls. You can just start digging a tunnel through the walls, which
Okay.
in a pure combat perspective allows you to do like quick evades, allows you to kind of make like choke points for the bugs so you can kill them better. So there's like tactical, strategic, combat stuff.
Okay.
But you also have to mine. There
You
are
have to
you
mine.
have to mine. There are materials like gold and nitra that you spend
Yes.
in between runs to like upgrade your equipment. And then there are other materials you have to mine, which is kind of like your currency in between runs, uh to like upgrade like, your overall health and damage or speed or mining speed or luck, right? So kind of like that continual, like that roguelike, constantly getting better every run. Uh but just like as you level up, you're upgrading your weapons and you're unlocking new weapons. So eventually you have like 4 different weapons, and they're all over the place. Just from like they have like big guns that just shoot in one line, Like maybe it's always behind you, but it shoots like long and it does piercing. There's guns that shoot 4 different directions at once. There's flamethrowers that spin around you. There's grenades. There's little turrets. So if you stop in one spot for like a second, you'll drop a turret. Uh, there's
Okay.
like drones that fly around you. Uh, Different weapon effects like fire, electric, poison, but just the whole thing together. So what really makes it good is the mining aspect because it makes you do stupid things.
Okay.
Right? It's like, oh my god, I'm absolutely swarmed. Oh, but I see some pearls in that rock over there, and I desperately need those. So I'm just gonna go mining to try to get that while I'm being swarmed by bugs. And
Okay.
it's that kind of like risk reward, like it's constantly forcing you to do stupid things. It's a really really fun game. If you like games like Vampire Survivors, even if you're on
I
the
do.
yeah, this game is, at least to me so far, the best version of that I have played.
Well, I mean, look, let's be real. Vampire Survivors has a very high bar to clear.
Yes.
So this seems like very high praise.
Yeah, this I would say this is, to me this is better. It's the like really it is that mining aspect where it's like it's making you do non-optimal movements throughout the horde to mine and go, well shit, I need that, or like I don't even know if I need it, I just see it and I want it. And it makes you do stupid stuff, and that is absolutely incredible.
One of the things, though, that I really liked about Vampire Survivors was with the upgrades and like the super upgrades and all that stuff. Is that still there?
Yeah, so like during a run, you basically have to go down to like 5 different levels of mines, and in between each run you have an opportunity to spend your gold and your nitro to upgrade stuff.
Right.
Every time you level up, it's one of those things where it gives you like, you can pick between 3 different upgrades. So it's either upgrading one of your weapons or upgrading a stat. Every time you get your weapon to a level that's a multiple of 6, you unlock basically an overclock, which is kind of like a new mode of that weapon. So maybe it fires faster, maybe now it shoots fire, or if it's a flamethrower, maybe it adds another beam to it. So yeah, you're constantly doing that. Like in the in between, like after you die, you spend all the you get gold for the number of bugs that you kill, and you spend the resources that you mined to permanently upgrade your dwarves. And they're adding new content, right? So that it's still in early access. They added a new biome, which is basically like a new like types of levels. There's not nearly as much content and stuff and variety in classes as there is Vampire Survivors, but I still find the just the minute to minute gameplay
is, it's only $8 on Steam.
It's pretty darn cheap right now.
Wasn't it also on Game Pass?
I don't think, maybe it is. I don't know.
No,
I don't know if I don't think it's anywhere but PC right now. But I'm playing it on my Steam Deck. It runs at a pretty good 45 frames per second, which is just fine. I love this game. A run maybe takes like 20 minutes. So like for me, it's a great thing like to do like in between periods of hockey. So I'm watching the Blue Jackets lose, or or just get a run in before work or maybe during lunch. Yeah, it's right now, it's $8. I would, you could spend $8 on a lot worse.
Yes, you can. You totally could. You could totally do that.
I think it's good. I recommend it.
Would you say it's harder or easier than Vampire Survivors?
I think the difficulty ramps up, so it is harder. But it's also like sometimes, in Vampire Survivors, depending on the map, you can really get yourself into a corner. You don't have that in this, because if there's a wall, you can just start mining through it.
Sure.
So, but it makes it a little bit more maneuverable. I mean, maybe about the same difficulty, but I just think it's way more fun. It's so much more fun.
Okay.
I'm watching the little video just kind of loop on the Steam page, and I was like, I wish I was playing this right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. It's very positive right now with the reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very positive. Yeah, it should be overwhelmingly positive. The game is fucking amazing. So,
I mean, I take your word for it. I just
Yep. It's good. Spend $8. Buy it. Play it.
okay.
Do it.
All right.
Do
All
it.
right. All
Do
right.
it. Do it. Do it.
I can
good.
do that.
It's good.
I can do that.
And plus, there's a button on the controller that all it does is make your dwarf talk about rock and stone. That's it. That's all it does.
Oh yeah. Well, so if you've never played the original Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, I really enjoyed that game. I played that game when it was in early access, and I got into it a few years ago, and I was surprised about how much was the same, yet how much they had added since I played it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a co-op shooter, like almost like an extraction thing where you get into a mine and you have a goal, you have like a quota of so much stuff that you're supposed to mine or different objectives. And then you as a team have to go in there and do the thing and then try to extract with different bugs.
Which include that's in Survivor too, because there is like an objective you have to do, and after you do it, you have
so it's not just an endless thing.
Yeah. So there's 5 levels. Each level, there's like a sub objective for collecting a certain type of resource, and then like as time goes on, it unlocks an elite. You have to kill that elite, and then you have 30 seconds to get out. And on the 5th level, that turns into a dreadnought, which is even a bigger version of it. And you kill that, then you beat the run, and you get extra goodies for it. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's funny because I actually have $16 in Steam credit right now.
There you go.
Because I bought some things on the Steam sale that I did not like and requested a refund.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. I have the Steam page open. I will buy that when we are done recording tonight.
Okay. Yeah, it's good.
Because I really like Vampire Survivors, and I have yet to find anything in that genre that plays as well. So, okay, Paul, we need to talk about Apple.
Okay.
Because they're having a rough time, buddy.
They're in trouble.
We're I think that we are Apple enjoyers. We are Apple enthusiasts on this podcast. And a lot of ink has been spilled and a lot of teeth have been gnashed about everything that's going on with them. But I feel like we talk about Apple enough on this podcast, so we at least have to address it because there's been some developments.
Yes.
And I'm not going to come on this podcast and defend Apple, but I am a little bit worried about what this is going to mean for our favorite products and services going forward.
Okay. So where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with the antitrust thing here in the U.S.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's a good start because we're a U.S. centric podcast. Yes.
So let's explain for people who maybe don't follow tech news as much as we do. Why is this happening and why is it such a big deal?
Do you want me to take a swing at it?
Yeah, I know, but let's just collaborate. Let's freestyle.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the Department of Justice and a bunch of states and Washington D.C. Sued Apple for abusing a monopolistic behavior. That's really the only law that we have to like regulate companies of this size. So like in America, behavior that you do when you're not a monopoly that is perfectly legal suddenly becomes illegal if you are a monopoly.
Very well put.
Yes. And the Department of Justice has listed a laundry list of things that they believe to be illegal. should we start with the big question just before we get into
Yes.
the details? Is Apple
Yes.
a monopoly?
I mean, I think my read on it is that there is, like, before smartphones existed,
Mm-hmm.
right? When we just had regular old smartphones and you wanted a game for your phone,
Yes.
not only was that version of the internet a really bad place to do e-commerce, trying to do it on a phone or trying to download a game for like your Palm Pilot or your phone that you bought and then trying to upload it to that device was just really, really nasty.
True.
But with the rise of these smartphones and the creation of things like app stores, there is a cost of doing business that if you want the exposure and you want the ability to make your app available to the tens or hundreds of millions of people that use iPhones, you have to play by Apple's rules. Like, you don't have a choice.
That's true.
And I think that is where they lean into the monopoly aspect.
Okay.
That's my read of it, right or wrong.
Okay. I agree with what you said. I'm going to do the obvious thing and the thing that Apple is going to say. They're going to go, but Android.
Right. There's a whole nother phone
Yes.
ecosystem out there you could be on.
Yes.
And we're not fans of Android on this podcast.
No,
by any stretch. So I'm not an app developer.
Okay.
This doesn't impact my life in some ways that other people who, because here's the thing, and I've noticed this, it's become such a big deal if you're not necessarily a person who makes money developing smartphone apps, but you develop a product or a service and you want to increase the reach of that product or service, you almost have to have an app.
True.
So
true.
Just looking at my phone right now, I mentioned TikTok earlier. I mean, that is a born-in smartphone land application. It is designed for content creators to work with their smartphones, create content, post content from literally anywhere, whether you're on cellular or you're on Wi-Fi, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's plenty of apps on my phone that existed or and would continue to exist without access to the iPhone, like YouTube or like BMW or Ford or the app that's responsible for me signing into my gym or Netflix. Like the apps that exist are for a service that exists outside of the ecosystem of the iPhone.
Okay, yeah.
But you would be giving up, monthly active users, or MAUs as we call them, if these apps were to suddenly go away, or you weren't able to publish them to the iPhone without playing by Apple's rules. So on the one hand, I see the monopoly aspect. I also don't agree with it, right? Because like if you care that much, like, make something so great that would give a competitive advantage to Android and let the market decide, right? Like that's how I view it. But my read of the situation is why the U.S. government is so butthurt over this.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the DOJ is going to have a hard time, like in the lawsuit, they point out that Apple has 60% in the United States only. This is not true for the rest of the world. In the United States, they have around 60% market share, about 70% of the revenue in this premium smartphone market. But globally, that number is more like 50-50 or even lower for Apple, depending on the market. So I think the first thing is like the DOJ, the Department of Justice, they're going to have a hard time just proving that there is a monopoly. I do think that there is some things that outside of what's in this case, right? I think there should be some sort of regulation. I'd much rather see like an actual like law passed than them suing them over, for anti-competitive behavior or a monopoly. But I think some of the stuff where uh, Apple competes with other companies. Thinking about Spotify or Amazon, like the Kindle kind of thing,
Yep.
uh, where the rules are different for Apple than they are for their competitors.
Right.
You know, the Kindle app on the iPhone, you still can't buy uh, books on the Kindle app on your iPhone or iPad because Apple still insists on that has to be an in-app purchase. And from what I understand, the margins on that kind of stuff is real thin, and
Hmm.
Apple just can't do it. Or not Apple, Amazon just can't afford to do it. Now, granted, well, Amazon's a big company; they probably can just eat the loss. But
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
still, like,
Jeff Bezos
yeah,
is going to be fine.
yeah,
Like,
I still find that kind of stuff just icky, right? Where like Apple has an unfair advantage because they're the platform owner,
right.
and they don't let their competitors compete in the same way. Like Spotify is allowed to have one link in their application that lets you know that you can sign up on the website. Uh, just one, and then you have to get a special
That's
entitlement from
all.
Apple to do
Yep.
it, and the link has to look a particular way. And when you click on it, you get a big old scare sheet that you know the site you're going to cannot be trusted. Uh,
Right.
yeah, so yeah.
Well, I mean, so that I think that's a pretty good explainer about where this is coming from.
Yes.
But let's say, for the sake of argument, that the Department of Justice successfully proves that Apple's a monopoly in this
Okay.
sense. What happens?
That's an excellent question. I don't think that actually I'm going to drop this link in the show notes because I think it's a really good summary.
Okay.
I don't know, 'cause I don't think they talk about what the remedy would need to be, right? Like, and didn't that kind of come out? Like, I'm thinking about like, um, obviously, all of us who are a particular age, like Drew and I, we remember the Microsoft
Right.
monopoly trial, which I believe took like what 6 years or something to get through.
It was not short.
Yeah. And I believe the consequences came out of that lawsuit. Uh, but yeah, so like, okay. So they talk about things like super apps, looking at like WeChat or stuff like that, cloud streaming, which Apple's already reversed course on, uh, messaging apps not being able to access incoming SMS messages, whatever. To me, I think the last two are probably the two biggest ones. Basically, like Apple using private APIs to give them an advantage. One of the examples they gave is smartwatches, right? No one can build a smartwatch that integrates as well as the Apple Watch because Apple won't let you. And digital wallets. So giving people access to the NFC to do tap to pay and that kind of stuff. Like to me, I could see like the digital wallets being like, okay, yeah, you have to open that up. You have to. The whole Europe Digital Marketplace Act, that was one of the things they enforced. I'm kind of curious, like with this whole like smartwatch, like private API, whether like Apple will be given like a time frame. Like when you introduce a new feature or an accessory, you have a year to make that available to other developers or other device manufacturers. Like I wonder if that's what's going to happen. Is they're going to say like, yeah, you get a year and then you have to allow competition.
Interesting.
That's one of the things that I have thought of. I have heard other people say this as well as one of the possible, like what a consequence could be. yeah, but again, like I think Apple is going to say, like, look at that API stuff, and they're going to say, well, doing that is not anti-competitive behavior. That is us trying to differentiate. That's a hard word for me to say. Take that, suck on that word, Apple
Right.
transcripts. Differentiate in a very competitive market. Uh,
Well,
yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I think this is a good time to pivot, right?
Okay.
Because in addition to everything that's happening here in the United States, like the
Mm-hmm.
European Union is also shooting their shot.
Yes, they are.
And what's really been fascinating is watching how Apple has sort of responded to events over there. So again, if you're not paying attention, the European Union looked at this and said, look, Apple, you make it way too hard for people to be able to choose what browser is the default browser on their phone.
Yeah.
Apple, you make it impossible for people to compete. Like, you need to make it so people can download apps from places that aren't your app store and things like that.
Yeah.
And Apple said, okay, we can do that, but here's all the rules that come with that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so talk about. Have you heard about some of those rules? I don't have
Oh,
them at my finger. I'm
dude,
curiously trying to find them.
dude,
But
it's such a shifting landscape now because like it's so like the European Union works the best way I've heard it compared to is it works like regulatory bodies in the United States. Things like the Food and Drug Administration, where the government doesn't create a bunch of laws. They just say, we're going to assign a bunch of people to a department and they're going to regulate that market. Okay. So that's what the European Union did. They decided they were going to regulate digital marketplaces, and they just came out with a bunch of rules. There was no voting, which is like, here are the rules. And Apple,
yep,
you have so many months to figure it out. And instead of doing what I think would have been the smart thing, is forcing Apple to sit down in a conference room for 2 months and hash out all the details, they basically gave Apple the homework assignment and say, come back when you're done.
right.
And you tell us and the world, because you have to make it public, what you're going to do. And then we're going to decide how you're wrong.
Right,
Right.
right, right, right.
So, it's been tough because like what Apple did is they said, okay, like, hey, you can apply to get like an entitlement to create a app marketplace. But if you do, you have like the original wording was like, hey, you have to take submissions from everybody. You have to basically prove to us you have $1 million line of credit ready to go. Like, and like now that rule is much different. You can make private app marketplaces where you just can have like your own brand. So like Meta can have one.
Mhm.
Uh, if you're a nonprofit or a charity, or a developer in good standing, which is this nebulous role of being on the regular app store,
Uh-huh.
and having so many downloads, uh, you don't have to do the $1 million line of credit thing. There's also this core technology fee that after you've had 1 million downloads or updates, each download or update after that, you have to give Apple 50 cents. Or no, half a euro, excuse me.
Right.
And then there was a whole thing with the Epic Game Store and Phil Schiller. Uh,
I do not feel bad about that. I don't feel bad about that at all. That guy is an asshole.
oh, yeah.
Fuck Epic Games. Fuck that guy. No. Fuck yeah. I'm not a fan.
Well, Epic
Definitely
Games,
not a fan.
they have their account in the EU now, so they can
I
make
know.
a store. Yeah. I also think Apple totally they fumbled how they handled
They
that.
did. They
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
But still, fuck those guys.
yeah. Okay. Uh, Now you have to be able to you can get an entitlement to host your app on your own website. Uh, So you can do actual side loading, but you're still subject to the core technology fee. Oh, and the whole big there's a whole big thing. Uh in the EU, you have two choices. You can play by the old rules and stay in the App Store and play the commissions and do all the rules, or you can do the new rules. But like you have to pick one or the other. Like you can't do both.
Right.
uh and there's a whole bunch of just other things in there. And then recently, the EU said, "Yeah, we're going to open up an investigation." Because also apparently, Google's going through the same shit Apple is right now. I just don't pay attention enough to know
Right.
what they're going through. But apparently, they're also not complying the way the EU wants. Uh, yeah, and like the penalties for the EU Digital Marketplace Act is like 7% of worldwide revenue.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, I mean, it very much reminds me of like how
yeah,
they came up with GDPR,
yeah.
right? Like it's very, very like,
Mhm.
follow this rule or really, really, really terrible things can happen
Yeah, yeah,
money wise
yeah.
to
I
you.
don't know if you know how much Apple money makes, but 7% of that is a big fucking
Big fucking
big
number.
number.
Big
Yes,
number.
yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So,
so
mhm,
having said all that, right?
mhm.
Here is my fear,
Okay, what's your fear?
right? So with everything like and the reason I say that is the route that they're taking in the EU is basically like, we're okay, fine. You want the ability to get apps from other places in the App Store.
Mhm.
You know what? God bless. Like,
Right.
go for it. Right. What I don't want to have happen here in the States is that open up because
Yeah.
for all the faults of the App Store, it does a really good job of sort of keeping your phone safe
Well, yeah,
by
yeah.
vetting, the apps and the developers who are putting stuff on the platform. Like they're pretty good at that.
It honestly made like indie software development a viable career.
Mhm.
Like, because and before that point, either your two ways of getting software out there was either making a huge deal with a big box retailer like Circuit City or something like that to sell your software in a box on a shelf, uh, or you had to sell it yourself on the internet, so you had to be able to take payments and refunds and all that stuff. And then there was that bad day of the internet where like there was just lots of viruses, you know, lots of scams out there, and there was a point where people just stopped downloading software off the internet because
Right.
there was no trust. There was no trust. Therefore, if you weren't a big developer selling your, software in an Office Max, in a Staples, in a Circuit City, you couldn't make money.
Right.
uh the App Store really allowed people to trust software again. They it's just like, yeah, like, okay, like Apple's looked at this, they reviewed it, and yes, scam apps do get through. These are people reviewing stuff, people getting, doing unhonest things. Yes, there are scam apps. Yes, Apple should police that better by all means. But generally speaking, if someone tells you like, "Hey, check out this app," you know how to get it. You know it's going to be safe. Uh, you're not going to, get a virus on your phone because of it. Yeah, and if something's wrong, you can contact Apple and get a refund and all that stuff. And yeah, and it really made like software viable as like I said, indie developers, it became viable again
Yep.
to do. And that's huge. And I mean, I think Apple has done some creepy things here, but I think in that case they really should pat themselves on the back and say like, yeah, we did make this market. Now there's a whole thing where Apple thinks that they're their customers, not your customers, and that's kind of gross. But
Right. That
yeah,
is a little bit gross.
uh-huh.
That's a little bit gross.
Yes, yeah. But overall, the App Store was a good thing for
Mhm.
yeah.
That
Mhm.
is my fear because, I mean, Apple the other thing that's been mentioned here is that, listen, Apple lets you download programs for your Mac
Yes.
from
Yeah.
websites, right? So what's the
Yes.
big deal?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I get that, but like I said, I'm just a little concerned that if all of a sudden, you know, the only way I can get apps is through side loading some things versus the other, like
Mm-hmm.
unless it's like a really, really good app, like, okay, to kind of turn it around on you, like your hipster browser, you really like that browser.
I do. I do. I really
And
like that
then let's
browser.
say
Yeah.
let's say they decide that, okay, Paul, we're ready to make money. So we're going to take it off the App Store and charge you, through our payment system that we don't have to pay Apple to get it. Would you still do it?
For my hipster browser, yes, 100%. I
Okay.
I would.
That's what I
Uh,
thought.
but there are some apps where like I wouldn't like. It's like, oh, you're not doing this to the App Store. Fuck it, I'm out. Like,
Mhm.
heck, up until recently, I still subscribed to Netflix through the App Store because I was lazy, and that's how I set it up in the
Huh.
first place. I had to fix that because Netflix was like, you can't do that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Which I get.
Sure, sure,
But
sure, sure.
yeah, I have quite. I mean, I don't have a ton, but I have quite a few subscriptions through the App Store. Like, let me just take a look. Uh, come on. Bear. I subscribe to Bear. It's my
Huh.
note taking app. Call
You do you
Sheet.
do you do like Bear.
Call Sheet. Ivory. It's my Mastodon client. I subscribe to Marvel Unlimited through the App Store. Overcast Premium, I pay for that, and Parcel, my delivery tracking app. So yeah, I've got those going through the App Store.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's easy. I think Marvel Unlimited is a great thing. I could have gone to the Marvel Unlimited website and put in my credit card and put in the information in there and bought it through that. But it was easy just to open the app and hit one button and go, I want this.
Right,
And Apple's
right,
like, are you
right.
sure? And I'm like, double tap, yes, sir. Uh, and then ding, and I had it. Like,
And you had it.
yeah,
You had the thing.
yeah. I didn't put Apple already has my credit card. I didn't have to do anything. Yeah, it was great.
Huh.
Yeah. Hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, if you like comic books, Marvel Unlimited is really fucking good. So,
I What was the one that we used to use? Comixology?
Comixology. Yeah.
And that's not a thing anymore,
That's
right?
not a thing anymore.
Yeah. If Jeff Bezos killed that.
Yes. Yes.
Poor
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I guess
Mhm.
to sort of try to put a bow on it, like I don't think anything's gonna happen. I mean, for quite some time.
Oh, probably
Like
no, probably not.
nothing's gonna happen
Hmm.
soon.
Hmm.
But one day something's gonna change. And like that's the thing that I'm a little concerned about. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe there'll be something better than better than an iPhone then. I don't know. Probably not. But
Yeah.
I wonder.
I wonder.
I wonder if I will still care as much as I care now.
And like, I mean, Android has other, like, you can sideload if you turn on certain
Yeah.
settings. You can do alternate app stores and things like that. And you know what? Yeah, there are some people who use it, but an overwhelming majority use the Google Play Store.
Yes.
And I think I'd be the same way. Like if the DOJ said no, you had to do this in the United States, there had to be, and there was an Epic Game Store and a Meta Store or whatever, or like an alt store or anything like that, I'd probably still just like, I'm just going to use the App Store. Unless there
Mhm.
was something I could not get anywhere, and I guess maybe that's the point, right? If there's
Right.
something that you can't get anywhere else.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know, buddy.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
I don't either.
Well, that feels like a good place to stop. I mean,
Yeah.
not to end on a super big downer note, but it's just kind of like,
It's going to be years. It's probably going to even be a year before this is even in the court. and years until it's done. But I mean, I do think the EU stuff is going to happen like soon.
Well, yeah, because I mean they can just kind of snap their fingers and it happens.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Uh-huh.
They can just say we're doing this, and then
Yes.
that's it. It
Yes.
just happens.
Yes, they could. Oh.
So that's the one that I
Mhm.
think is going to be a greater peril, if you will.
Yeah,
for
I
them.
got my popcorn there for that. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, a couple other podcasters basically pointed out like it's basically like Apple's getting to experience what it's like to go through app review.
That
Right.
is true. Yeah. You do all the work and we'll tell you at the end whether it passed or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And you know, if let's be honest, like if Apple wasn't such a stingy bunch of assholes trying to get every
Sure.
cent out of the App Store, they probably would not be in the situation they are in now. You know, if they self-regulated a little bit, the governments wouldn't be so
Uptight.
yeah, angry, punitive.
Punitive is a very good word.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Hey, you can go to doingtheirbest.com. You can find all the links. You can listen to this show on YouTube for some reason. Find the show notes there, all the links we talked about today. And hey, thanks for listening.